This is an iPulse Mideast report. I'm Swanson Gibson.
And I'm Clifton Haskin. The Mideast continues to boil, and so do the protests for the innocent suffering in this war. Protests for the Palestinians and protests for Israel. CNN's Brian Todd reports from Washington.
We stand!
A show of support drawing tens of thousands in Washington, including lawmakers from both parties.
The survival of the state of Israel and her people unites us together, and it unites all Americans.
A rally to support Israel at a time of war.
We support Israel's fight to rid itself of the terror threat and restore safety and security to its people.
And to push for the release of hostages held by Hamas. The mother of hostage Hirsch Goldberg Poland pressing for action.
Why is the world accepting that 240 human beings from almost 30 countries have been stolen and buried alive?
Shaked Haran has 7 family members who've been kidnapped, including a 3-year-old niece.
I don't know if anyone is holding her hand, is keeping her warm. We don't know anything.
She came here from Israel, worried that the public's attention is focusing elsewhere.
People are talking about ceasefire, about a pause, but they're not talking about the hostages.
The rally also focused on countering anti-Semitism amid a spike in incidents at college campuses and elsewhere.
College and university presidents, if you remain weak, if you remain silent, you are complicit.
Political graffiti against Israel was found at the rally site this morning.
What scares me now is what I'm seeing, the anti-Semitism I'm seeing in the U.S. Seeing that out in the open is really terrifying. So it's also good to be here with people in solidarity.
Today, calls for action against hate.
Like our ancestors, who for 3,000 years looked hate straight in the eyes, we too will prevail.
Tight security in D.C. with roadblocks and checkpoints, with rallies to support Israel dueling with rallies to support Palestinians in a battle to win over public opinion.
I support everybody's right to protest. I just wish that people would come at it from a perspective of peace and coexistence.
The debate has become especially heated on college campuses and in the media. But what role should educators and journalists play? Allison Wallace spoke to Lynn University Distinguished Professor of American History, Dr. Robert Watson.
The goal of an educational institution is to instill critical thinking and independent thinking. So on certain issues, perhaps a university could take a side. For example, if you go back to World War II, the Nazis committing the Holocaust and horrors, it would have been horrific to think that institutions would be neutral on it. You come down on the side of humanity and empathy. So if you take, let's say, Russia and the Ukraine, Russia's obviously the naked aggressor there, so it's incumbent upon a university to teach empathy and humanity. But on so many other controversial issues, it's incumbent upon the university to not take sides, to provide all the facts, to provide the history, and provide the context. So if you take Israel and Hamas and the Gaza Strip, it's infinitely complicated. There's a long 2,000-year history of conflict between Jews and Muslims, conflict over that land. Take Jerusalem, Jews, Muslims, Greek Orthodox, a number of Christians, a number of the world's great religions all have a legitimate claim to that city. So we need to provide that context. We need to teach students where the Gaza Strip is in Israel, the strip of land, where the West Bank is. So the university needs to provide all this context, instill the students with facts and critical thinking and independent thinking, and then allow the student to make up their own mind in an informed way.
And when do you consider media to be biased?
Some media is, some media is not. There are obviously media outlets like Fox and OAN which drift quite to the right, and unabashedly so. So if you watch that, you need to understand they're pushing a conservative or Republican or right-wing agenda. There's other media outlets like MSNBC that obviously take a more left-wing or Democratic agenda. On the other hand, there's countless media outlets from PBS to NPR to NBC that are objective, that are neutral, that are factual. So I think students need to know which outlets are obviously leaning one way or the other and take that with a grain of salt. But the most important thing, I think, is threefold. One is to consume multiple sources of news, not just one. Number two, fact check the news you're getting. And there's groups like Fact Checker, PolitiFact, Open Secrets, Project VoteSmart. All these things are online. You can go to opensecrets.com or .org, votesmart.com or .org, PolitiFact. And there they fact check all the news. They fact check the anchors. I've even been fact checked by them. So number two, fact check. And number three, make up your own mind. You're in college because you're interested in critical thinking and independent thinking. Nobody should be a parrot and repeat whatever they hear on the news or read on the news or what a professor says.
Meanwhile, this past week, Israel launched a targeted operation against the Al-Shifa hospital, the largest in Gaza. The West Bank Palestinian health minister called the Israeli operation a crime against humanity. Laura Aguirre brings us the latest.
Gaza's largest hospital, Al-Shifa, now in Israeli control.
There's a substantial Hamas infrastructure in the area, in the vicinity of the hospital, potentially under the hospital.
The Israel Defense Forces has been signaling it would move on the war-ravaged medical facility, claiming Hamas militants use it as a command center, with civilians as their human shields. Claims Hamas and hospital officials deny. A journalist inside the hospital tells CNN Israeli soldiers were interrogating young men at the facility, and gunfire was heard inside the building.
There was no engagement whatsoever inside the hospital with the patients or anyone else.
The IDF released a video they say shows their soldiers delivering aid.
We also came with some humanitarian equipment, food, incubators.
CNN has not been able to verify either side's accounts. With Israeli troops now in Al-Shifa, many question, are hostages there?
This mission wasn't focused on hostages.
An answer that may not set well with the families of those held by Hamas.
We want action. It's been 39 days. Where's the action?
Another crisis worsening by the hour at Al-Shifa, the fate of dozens of newborn babies. Egyptian health officials saying Wednesday they're working to get them out, as Israel makes it clear its soldiers may not be leaving Al-Shifa anytime soon.
This is going to be ongoing because there might be tunnels, there might be weapon caches. This is going to be a long haul.
I'm Laura Aguirre reporting.
There is very little information on exactly what is happening in Gaza City. However, Associated Press reports there are nearly 2 million displaced Gaza civilians staying in overcrowded shelters.
In Lynn news, 2 weeks ago was Founders Day, a celebration of the 1971 founding of Lynn University. The school hosted its very own carnival that included food trucks, rides, and even a live band. Eleanor Bruce was there.
Founders Day is an annual event that is put on to celebrate Lynn University. The event welcomes all students, staff, and their family members to an on-site carnival. The carnival consists of multiple food trucks, rides, and even has a live band playing on the balcony that overlooks the event. All food, drink, and other activities are free to enjoy once you have signed in and got a wristband.
I really love the food trucks, and the rides. They have a lot of new rides this year, which are pretty exciting. Especially the bull ride. I love the bull ride. The food. And I love all the rides, and I like the sense of community it brings.
Food, free food, definitely, and the ride.
We've been doing this for so many years. We've kind of got it down to a science, but just getting all the pizzas ready and everything, getting the ovens to temperature, getting our setup ready, just not forgetting, little things. It's great getting out to new customers, especially college kids that are coming, from other areas, other places, seeing our company, our business. We've been doing this for 40 years, so just seeing new faces, new people trying our pizza is great.
Not a lot of schools would have a whole carnival fair in their yard, in my opinion, so I think it really does say something about the school.
This is like my favorite part of the fall. I love Founders Day. For like school events, it's the best. I love it.
Yeah, it's good that they put in extra work, I don't think most schools are doing stuff like this, so it's cool, it's unique.
Despite Founders Day being such a popular event, students have additions that they wish to see in future years to come.
Maybe make it later in the day so then it's like darker out and it's not as hot. It's hot and there's not a lot of shade. Maybe more food trucks, I guess.
Get a Five Guys.
I like all the food that we have, but like I think we can have a little bit more like from other places as well. Like we have tacos in the Asian place, but like we think we can still have like other cultures. And so yeah.
Founders Day is a common favourite in the school calendar and welcomes everyone. I'm Eleanor Bruce for iPulse.
Last Friday, Lynn University honored the many veterans in the Lynn community. Amongst them was Colonel Dave Cohen. After serving for many years as a commissioned officer in the United States Air Force, this year Colonel Cohen joined Lynn as Dean of the College of Aeronautics. Delaney Smith reports.
On Friday, November 10th in Lynn University's Palm Court, Lynn University hosted a Veterans Day ceremony to honor veterans in the Lynn community, including Lynn professor Dave Cohen.
I'm Dave Cohen, retired as a colonel out of the United States Air Force, did 26 years active duty. I'm currently the Dean of the College of Aeronautics here at Lynn University.
During his Air Force career, Cohen led air refueling and flight test units and served as a Joint Staff Planning Officer at the Pentagon. He has flown combat and combat support missions all over the globe, including in Africa, Iraq, Saudi Arabia, Turkey, Libya, Central America, and South America.
My dad was in the Air Force. In fact, I was born overseas in England when he was in the Air Force. And there was just something about serving the country that I really liked. It sometimes feels a little corny, but it was important to me. And as I continued to do it throughout my career, it became even more important. And that's why I stayed, and that's why I loved it. That's why I miss it today.
The ceremony commenced with the national anthem and the Pledge of Allegiance, and continued with acknowledgments of the veterans, including a 101-year-old veteran who served in World War I, and speeches made in gratitude. This ceremony held great significance for the veterans.
You know, it's humbling always to be recognized for service, but yet there's something heartwarming about it. One of the reasons I joined the Lynn family here just about 3 or 4 months ago to take on this role was because it is a family, and events like this really show that it's not just lip service, that our service in the military is cared for, cared about, and that we as people are cared about, and that really that makes it very worthwhile.
I'm Delaney Smith for iPulse TV News.
In sports, the Texas Rangers are World Series champions after defeating the Arizona Diamondbacks. It marks the first time in the franchise's 63-year history that they have achieved the top spot. The Texas Rangers won under the guidance of Bruce Bochy, the same manager who earned his first World Series ring with the San Francisco Giants over the Rangers in the first World Series appearance in 2010. JT Scott reports.
In their 63rd season. It's happened! The Texas Rangers win the World Series!
The Texas Rangers are World Series champions for the first time in franchise history after defeating the Arizona Diamondbacks in 5 games earlier this week. The series came to a close as the Rangers defeated the Diamondbacks 5-0 in Phoenix on Wednesday. Clutch runs in the 7th and 9th inning were the pivotal moments for the Rangers in this game. Rangers shortstop Corey Seager, who is known for his World Series heroics, was the clutch performer in this game, breaking up the no-hitter in the 7th and sparking the offense for the Rangers. He was named World Series MVP, giving him his 2nd World Series MVP award, along with his 2nd World Series ring. Fans in Texas are as happy as ever, as this is the Rangers' first ever title, and it brings an end to a long dry spell for the franchise. Here's a look at some of the moments following the final out.
Amazing. We had so much
fun here tonight. Garcia, ALCS MVP, what else could you ask for?
I mean, the energy here says it all. We were bombing, destroying that team tonight.
The Rangers will enjoy their victory for now, but a short offseason and spring training are not far away. Majority of the roster is set to return for the Rangers, and they will look to repeat their historic season in 2024 and chase after yet another World Series championship. For now, we wait until spring training for baseball once again. From iPulse, I'm JT Scott.
4, 3, 2. Being a student athlete in college is way more demanding than most people believe. Despite the added pressure, new student athletes to Lynn report they haven't found it difficult to embrace the challenges of being a fighting knight on the field and a student in class.
My name's Ashley Martinez from iPulse News, and today I'm going to be going around Lynn University interviewing new fighting knights and seeing how they're adapting to the new busy schedule as collegiate athletes.
Hi, I'm Madison Doherty. I'm a freshman. I'm from Ardsley, New York, and I'm a catcher on Lynn softball.
My name is Jack Budd. I'm a transfer student. I'm a sophomore from Jacksonville, Florida, and I swim middle distance freestyle.
I am Sasha Fiola. I'm from St. Pete, Florida. I'm a freshman, and I swim sprint free.
Perfect. Thank you, guys. So, how do you feel like you're adjusting to Lynn so far as a new student? How's your schedule been? Busy?
I'm adjusting pretty well, I'd say. I think the workload and like the balance between like work and practices is pretty good.
I feel like I have adjusted pretty well. It hasn't been too difficult for me to make it to practice and class on time, and I've had time to eat before class every day and shower and all that because I've given myself enough time to do it.
Is there a major difference from high school, I guess I should say?
Not really for me. My dad travels a lot for work, so ever since I turned like 16, I was home alone a lot, like weeks at a time. So it's not really that big of a difference for me.
I feel like obviously it's different. I'm living on my own. I'm like 20 hours from home, but it's similar in the sense that like I have responsibilities. I have to go to school, like I have to do homework, I have practice, but I'm independent now, which is a big difference, and I'm in charge of myself fully. Like my parents obviously aren't here to tell me get up, go to practice, do your homework, study, all that.
Lastly, I ask how practices have been going for them, whether it's harder or easier to what they used to.
I'd say it's different in a good way. At least my old team, we didn't work so much on like technique and quality as we do now. It was a lot of just gathering like an aerobic base and doing a lot of yardage and stuff like that.
I feel like it's just more intense. It's difficult, but it's just more intense because we have more things to accomplish than I did in high school and for travel ball, and we condition and work out a lot more than I did, so that was a bit of an adjustment for me.
Okay, well, thank you, Madison, and I hope the rest of your months here will be running smoothly.
Thank you.
Ashley Martinez with iPulse News.
The Snyder Center for Health and Wellness is now up and running. The 20,000 square foot building is home to Lynn Fitness, Health, and Wellness Center. Open for just over 3 weeks, it has already seen a record number of people working out and generally becoming more active. Eleanor Bruce reports.
The Snyder Center for Health and Wellness recently opened here on campus. The building has been in the works for a few years now and finally had its official opening ceremony on Tuesday the 24th of October. The 20,000 square foot Snyder Center is the home of Lynn University's Fitness, Health, Counseling and Wellness Center. The general area is for students and employees, and a key feature of this new space is the 2,700 square foot student athlete strength and conditioning area.
We would want to be lifting out here and having a lot of other people in the way while we're just trying to get our workouts in. And there's also specific weights for us in there and different tools and, equipment for us athletes.
So as a student athlete myself, I do feel like, I do hope that we are able to get the feeling of a better training equipment, actually the feeling of actually being in a college facility, because student athletes had to work out outside in the heat. So I feel like in general, student athletes should be able to get the feeling of having a place to just go by themselves, isolated from everyone else, to focus on our sport so that we can entertain for everybody else so they can enjoy what we worked so hard for like the whole season to accomplish.
If I have to compare with the older gym, we didn't have actual space for us to, like with all the students that are in Lynn University, we didn't have the space to work out all together with the athlete there. Now it's really good because they have their own area and we have our own area too.
The space also includes a 3,000 square foot outdoor workout area if students wish to take their workout outside or need more space. The gym is a huge step up from the old facilities athletes, students, and staff members were using.
The lockers and the spinning classes that we didn't have in the old gym, it is really good because it's really inclusive and it has a lot of facilities with different fitness levels.
My favorite features is actually, I would say, the new racks, honestly, because the racks over there in the hot sun were pretty bad.
My favorite features of new space is definitely how we have a speed treadmill now, and it goes by the pace of how you run. Now I don't have to wait for the treadmill to start. I can just start running on it, and it automatically picks up my speed, picks up how fast I can go. No matter if it's 20 miles per hour or 5 miles per hour, it'll pick up that speed and then keep up with me instead of going just only 10. So I feel like that is my favorite part, and having 2 different weight rooms so it's not so crowded when all the athletes are in one section. That was really a pain because I couldn't get a workout in back when I was grade student.
The spinning classes, because as I said, is really a good option for those people that doesn't know how to lift weights properly or doesn't have an actual interest for it. But yeah, it's my favorite feature.
The new location is conveniently located next to the cafeteria and much nearer other sports facilities on campus. This new space has already seen record numbers of people working out and seems to be encouraging people to get out and be more active. I'm Ella Bruce for iPulse.
In medicine, cancer is the leading cause of death among children in the United States. Despite these statistics, there is hope. Brooke Bond reports on Michael Carranza, a 9-year-old boy who is fighting neuroblastoma with the support of his local elementary school.
20 students smiling ear to ear at the finish line of the Champ 5K run in Tempe, representing a beloved classmate bravely battling cancer.
Everyone here ran just for Michael. He means a lot to us.
9-year-old Michael Carranza is new to the school but welcomed with open arms. At just 3 years old, Michael was diagnosed with a rare form of brain cancer called CNS neuroblastoma.
He had his first brain surgery 10 days before his 4th birthday. He then went through aggressive chemotherapy.
Michael's mom, Teresa, says the past 6 years have been filled with hope and heartbreak, remission and recurrence, a life so many children sadly experience too often.
Over 400,000 children get diagnosed with cancer each year.
Michael's vulnerable immune system has kept him homeschooled until now, a transition that hasn't been easy.
Attending school for the first time at the age of 9 is very difficult.
When Mariano Elementary School's Run Club heard Michael's story, they decided to act by running in a local 5K and dedicating every step to him.
I care about him a lot, and we will be by his side whenever he needs us. We got medals at the end. I would still give my medal to Michael because he's been fighting.
They not only sought to uplift their friends' spirits, but shine a spotlight on the urgent need for increased funding and research into treatment for rare childhood cancers like Michael's.
For that group to come together for him and show him the support and tell them that they're proud of him was amazing.
It's a special bond helping Michael settle in at his new school and inspiring all those who see it. This is Brooke Bond from iPulse.
Cancer also affects older children. After a single doctor's visit, a middle school girl had her life turned upside down. She was diagnosed with bone cancer. It's a story of a remarkable 4-year journey.
A volleyball manager, a cheerleader, a friend, and a daughter. On the outside, Annabelle Martel is your typical 8th grade girl, but the journey she's been on is far from the norm.
One day, my life turned upside down.
In the 4th grade, she was diagnosed with osteosarcoma in her arm, a type of bone cancer that her mom says is so rare she had a better chance at being struck by lightning.
How do we fight this and do everything we could to save her life?
Doctors say if you make it through 3 years of chemo, the likelihood of it returning diminishes. Annabelle was thrilled to walk into her appointment this summer, but it didn't quite go as planned.
We got the call and we knew something was majorly wrong.
Cancer. Twice. This time in 2 locations on her lungs. Fortunately, surgeons were able to remove them, making her cancer-free twice.
Juggling school with all that is also hard. My mom would always say, there's not much you can't do. It might just look a little different.
With limited mobility in her arms and cancer just removed from her lungs, she has adjusted to sports and extracurriculars in her own way, her coach supporting her fully.
First day she walked in, it was, you're not going to keep me from doing things, kind of an attitude, which I love.
I'm Clifton Haskin, iPulse TV News.
We are so excited to have several new faces working with iPulse News, one of whom is senior communication major Gerard Jones. Gerard is a reporter and anchor for iPulse Live. He joins us now to introduce his new weekly segment called America, the Melting Pot, discussing issues with ethnicity, intercultural communications, and diversity.
Hello, I'm Gerard Jones, and I have the privilege of presenting this segment called America, the Melting Pot. When you think of this great country, what comes to mind? Oh, beautiful, for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain. America, the country where we have freedom of the press, freedom of religion, and freedom to just dance in the street if we choose to. Though America is beautiful, she is not without stains. Segregation, discrimination, racism, words that cut deep and land like a blow to the gut for many Americans. And though these issues are embarrassing and painful, they are a part of who we are. They're a part of how we got here. Have we fully healed from these issues? Are we still wrestling with them today? And how do they affect younger generations? Explore the answers to these questions as we continue to discover America, the Melting Pot. Again, I'm Gerard Jones, and this is iPulse News.
And that's iPulse Live for November 17th. I'm Clifton Haskin.
And I'm Swanson Gibson. We'll be back in 2 weeks. In the meantime, happy Thanksgiving. And for those traveling, stay safe and don't eat too much.